Get off that demo, boys. What's up, my dudes? We out here on Habit Real, having a good old time, taking me way back to 2014 when I first started playing this game. It's one of those real early tracks that you ride on. I don't know what all is exactly in the demo. I know like the demo is sort of changed over time and there's a couple different versions of it and stuff like that, but one thing I've noticed is, weirdly enough, it seems like there is a lot of people out there that say, oh, Spencer, well, I have the demo, or I tried the demo, but never really got the full game. And it's just like, what? How on earth, man? I would think, and you would think, that there would be like maybe, I don't know, 1 out of 100 people that would say that have played MX Simulator, like, oh, I just had the demo and never got the full game, but it's a lot more than that, dude. I would say it's more like 1 out of every 10 people say that, or 2 out of every 10 people. I mean, there's a lot of people that tell me they only have the demo of MX Simulator, and it just like, I can't believe it, dude. I just cannot believe you would get into it and only play the demo, because one of the biggest things is that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times the certain demo versions don't have the most up-to-date physics. I know whenever I first got the demo of this game, like the entire whole setup and suspension and all that on the bike was totally different than the actual current version of the game. That's why it was really weird, because I was playing the demo and I was like, okay, how do I kind of set this up a little bit, right? And I got to looking and like people making, like showing you how to set the bike up and stuff, and it was totally different than the way it looked in the demo that I had. And that's one of the biggest things that made me go, oh, hey, why don't I actually just buy the full game so that I have the actual physics of the game and not some way outdated version of the game. And then it got into the where I was actually, I got the track editor working in one of the default tracks on the demo. So I was like building my custom track on one of the actual demo tracks. And then I started thinking in my head, okay, how do I actually get to where I can just make my own track? Then I realized you had to have the full game to get the blank track, to make your own track. So all those things combined is kind of what made me buy the full game. But come on, guys. Like, I just can't believe the amount of people that will go out there and they'll buy the $60 Call of Duty every year, or the $100 nowadays with all the season pass and all the bullshit that's going on with all these modern games, but they won't fork up like $30 for MX Simulator, or however much it is, like $40. It's like, dude, this is a real dirt bike in a virtual world. Do you realize how much time you can actually put into this game if you really get into it? You can put thousands of times more time into this than you can other games that are like $100 and stuff. Oh my god, that was insane right there. I barely grazed that little finish line side thing there. That was crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and let some people know that only have the demo. Like, you're not even actually fully experiencing the physics of the game, which is like the whole fun to it. You're experiencing some sort of out of date version of it, because there's snapshots, and if you don't know what that is, basically like little update patches to the game without being like a full-blown update. So and those used to come out quite frequently. I know they've kind of died off a little bit here recently, but I mean, it was to the point to where like every 2 or 3 months the physics system of the game was changing slightly and ever so much. So that's something that was happening there. So it's just something to keep in mind. But dude, like, you're not even experiencing the custom bike stuff. I don't even think, I mean, I know back whenever I played the demo, you couldn't even get on all the different bike dynos. All you could get on was like the YZ125 and it was like the YZ250F. You couldn't even get on a 450. So, and you're in that case, you're not even experiencing the newest, fastest 450 bike dyno. So I'm just here to tell you, like, if you have the demo of MX Simulator, you're behind on what the game actually is. You know, you're not really experiencing the full experience of the game. You're not experiencing the bike skin, graphic skins, custom track aspect with your own blank track. You're not experiencing the full physics of the game. Like, dude, if I could ever say something that was worth my money the most in my life that I've bought, it's MX Simulator. I mean, it's not even a $60 game, dude. Like, it is just crazy. I just cannot believe that MX Simulator is not like a, like a $200 or $300 game. You know how some of those airplane simulator and all them like extravagant simulator games out there are pretty expensive. Some of them are anyways. You would think that's how much MX Simulator would be, but it's not. It's like 30 or 40 bucks. It's crazy. I just cannot believe that that's all that, and you get it forever, okay? You get basically all of those thousands and thousands of custom tracks that has been made by other players in the game, user-created content. You're not having to buy any DLC. There's new bike dynos that come out every year that you don't have to buy. There's new updates to the game. New stuff being added all the time. There's the pro racing, which you have to pay for that now, but that's not really paying for the game. You're paying for like a separate pro racing series, but it used to not be like that back when they actually had a lot of people racing in the pro racing. But they're trying to make their money, and I don't know exactly how to look at that, but like I get it at a certain point. But on the other hand, if you didn't have to pay for it, there'd be twice as many people pro racing, and it would be like it would be like real life pro racing, but in a video game, because there'd be so many more people qualifying and racing, and it would be a flourishing state of a pro racing series. But now that you have to pay for it, it makes it definitely more tight knit. Like barely gets enough people to fill a gate, especially now with the road in there and all that. You barely even have enough people to fill a pro racing gate on there now. So either way, yeah, it is just insane. I mean, I can sit here and think about how much money I've spent just on Call of Duties in the past 10 years, and I don't even play any of them. I mean, like, I'll go back and play the original Modern Warfare or World at War and still have some fun with it, but I don't really play any Call of Duties, like, hardcore at all like that anymore. And even, like, if you go to some of the other AAA motocross games, like some of the MX vs. ATV Alive, I mean, some of the Milestone motocross games, some of those I don't really play anymore and spent full price on those. It's just wild when you go back and look at it, and then it's like you got this $30 or $40 game over here that I've put, tens of thousands of hours. I mean, I don't even know. Like, it's somewhere 30, 40, 50,000. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. It's probably like 10, 20,000. It's an insanity amount of time that I put into this game, and Reflex the same way. But yeah, the amount of content. You see, that's what's so crazy about MX Simulator. When you first get into it and you get the demo and you don't really know too much about it, you might just think, oh, this is kind of silly. There's like 2 or 3 little super smooth default tracks in the demo. There's only like 2 bikes, and the bike looks like Play-Doh. It looks like a game from 1995. Like, what the hell is this game? They get so caught up in the way the demo looks and everything, but they don't even understand. You can make any track you can possibly imagine. You can crank your graphics up, play this game in 2K. You can get it going pretty hardcore graphical look in that sense, depending on what kind of track you're on and the lighting effects of it. You can make your own custom gear in there, make everything look a lot better. I'm actually running the default Yamaha bike right here just for the nostalgic shits and giggles purposes there, but because that's how it is in the demo. But you can get any of your own bike model, skin, make it look like anything in real life motocross. You can put that in this game and make it actually look like that. It's not this default super basic bad graphic Play-Doh look in MX Simulator forever. Like, it's not like that, and people just don't get it, man. They just don't understand it. It's one of those things that MX Simulator doesn't, like, when you see advertisement or the website or this, that, and another on it, it doesn't really portray that too much, because JOV can't make advertisements of user-created content. He can't do that because that's not... he can, but he can't, because certain user-created stuff has it'll have monster tote blocks, or it'll have Red Bull finish line jump things, or whatever it may be. So he can't really show that in there, but he can show this default stuff that doesn't have any of that on there. So that's basically what it comes down to. That's why you don't see a lot of the AMA 2018 replica Supercross tracks in some sort of MX Simulator, advertisement or something like that. So, but once you get into it, you realize you can have anything in this game, man. Anything. All the replicas from 2010 Supercross all the way to 2018, every single one of those Supercross tracks. Just imagine that. Exact replications of the real life tracks in a simulator where the bike feels like a real bike. Like, god damn it, people just don't. With the pro racing in it and the qualifying and the 250 class, 450 class, you got all the heat races, semis, main events. Holy God, this is the game of all time, people. I mean, how much do I have to preach it? I can't believe all of you motocross fans ain't bought this game and playing this. If you're a motocross fan and you own a computer, what the hell you doing if you ain't playing this game? Like, you're a fool if you ain't playing this game. This is the game of all time. I'm telling you, the motocross game of all time. People just, they're clueless, dog. Like, they do not understand that. They just don't get it. There will be tracks being made for this game forever. Endless amounts of content ideas. That'd be so cool if JLV went in there and made it to where he advanced the track editor in the game, where you could actually see it kind of in this like third-person sort of view while you're building the track to make it a little bit more user-friendly, and go in there and put a lot more default like decals in the track editor and default skyboxes that you can choose from, and more default objects instead of just these ones over here. You guys know these, especially all you MX Simulator track makers. But, if you put just a little more in there to get people kind of started in it, to be able to make just about, a couple different cool design tracks in the track editor without actually having to put anything in there, kind of how the Unleashed track editor is. If he did that, it would make people get into it a little more and realize the potential of the track editor. And then if he went in there and made it to where he could actually make like tunnels in the game, it wasn't just everything's like top down, whatever they call that. There's a word for that. But like, actually being able to make a tunnel where you can build up over and like arcing terrain where you're actually going under and in terrain in certain areas. That'd be so cool if you could make that sort of kind of track design to it. So either way, man, and bigger track area maps, and being able to add more optimization to the game to where it won't lag when you put too many objects and stuff on a track, all that little stuff. There's a lot of advancements that JLV could make to the track editor that would make this like, it already is the most ultimate motocross game of all time, but JLV could even improve upon that and make it even better than it already is. You see how crazy that would be if he did that? Like, it already is the most legendary, greatest of all time motocross game, but like, you just think about the small little improvements that it could have, like a super good terrain deformation system. Just a lot of, small little graphical updates to it. 85cc bikes, 500 bikes in the game, certain stuff like that, and all the different track editing options and all that. If he just went in there and advanced some of that stuff a little more, man, it'd be crazy. It'd be insane. And what this game could have, tear-off system in first person, stuff like that. It's got all the potential in the world. This is the strongest base of a motocross game that you will ever see in your entire life. And that's the thing about it. It's not just a base of a motocross game. It is that amazing motocross game. I'm telling you all these advancements that it could have to make this amazing motocross game, and I talk about all these motocross games like, oh, this needs that, this needs this to make it like this. Well, MX Simulator is that. MX Simulator is that amazing game. You understand what I'm saying? It is, but there's certain things to it that could be added to make it even more legendary than legendary, which I don't even know how that's even possible, but, it could become that. But you can make anything you want to. With the current MX Simulator, anything you want to make, there's tons of different bike options, tons of different, ways to set up the suspension, set up the bike, build your own style, the whip system to it, everything about it, even though there's not like a trick system to it, a freestyle trick system. There is big whips in the game. There's a ton of stuff to it. So, but either way, I'm trying to explain to you, get off that motherfucking demo, bro. Buy this puppy. Put a little bit of money into it. Support the game. Like, I just can't stress how much of a big deal that really is. And I wish there was a way that JLV could not necessarily, see, that's the thing. That's what I just, oh my God, like, JLV is the furthest thing from a money hungry kind of dude, you know? Like, JOV, I'm just telling you right now, and I know I'm gonna sound like some little, like I'm kissing your ass and shit, but like I'm being straight up honest right now. Okay, yes, I love MX Simulator. Yes, it's my game, but this is like the furthest thing from paid DLC, microtransaction. There is none of that horse shit. Absolutely none of it. There's none of that. You don't have to pay for. You just buy the game, dude. That's all there is to it. You just pay the $30, $40 for the game, and you got everything. Everything. Track editing stuff, all the bike dynos. You got to go in there and download the newest snapshot, so just be aware of that. But, lifetime amount of updates, everything to it. Like, it's a $1,000 game for $40. That's what MX Simulator is. So, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.